Well, we've had several hours of productive discussions. We went through the legislature's tax bill point by point so we could understand what underlies the $875 million current offer. Then we went through Health and Human Services, and again, literally item by item in terms of what the assumptions are that the legislature, the Republican majorities are making in terms of healthcare savings. We don't agree on a number of those assumptions, but that's their position, so they're entitled to that. We're going to go back now and take what we've accomplished here and plug that into a global offer. We're going to meet again at 5 o'clock to discuss that, and we'll have something more substantial to report on after that meeting. Anyone else? Anyone else?
On HHS,
Really optimistic about where you're headed with just a few days later.
We focused on the numbers, the budgets, then I'm optimistic we'll get it done when the legislature is supposed to conclude next Monday. We still haven't discussed any of the policy, they haven't brought it up. I've said it all along, I want to focus on just the budget. And if, we'll have to cross that bridge if they're going to insist on all of this policy that's not related to budget matters. We haven't had that discussion yet. I don't know. If they insist on including a lot of policy in these discussions, we'll be, as I said before, we'll be up against the June 30th deadline, given the complexity of so many of these issues.
Are you convinced that there's more savings to be had in the HHS area?
Well, we believe that most of what they propose are going to result in real cuts in real programs to real people. They make a number of assumptions that there's savings to be gained in a fairly simplistic approach to making those changes, and as Commissioner Piper pointed out, you have to run those through over 1 million people that are recipients of state public health coverage, and the interrelationship between MNsure and Minnesota Care and MA is extremely complex. And then you add in the federal issues related, in one case, to the IRS coming in and nixing one proposal and all the others involved. I mean, it's just not that simple. Just to say we'll pluck $12 million or $24 million or $36 million out of something that hasn't even been developed yet, we think is a very, very uncertain assumption. But that's their position, and we'll work with that.
Governor, is the ag bill really wrapped up, including policy?
No, we're still debating on that. And I would say that is case in point for this is policy matter related to the budget, and they've been talking about this, the commissioner and the chairs, for what, 5 days, including a couple hours a day. And I'd go back and get briefs on that now. I don't know the particulars, but you get into these policy matters, and we're talking about hours and hours and hours of discussion debate. So if they're going to insist on policy, then next Monday's out the window. We're talking a rush to try to get it done by June 30th. If we're willing to do the budget bills on the budget, then we can get it done.
On a policy bill and a policy bill, the teacher licensure passed yesterday, hurtling towards your desk. What's your mood on that bill?
I really need to get briefed from Commissioner Caselius. We've set that meeting up for later today or first thing tomorrow? Later today. So I don't have a comment until I know more about the particulars.
Governor, Senate Republicans say that your tab fee increase would cost the owner of a $20,000 car $735.
Well, I think it's over $1 million. I mean, I think it's at least $1 million. I mean, why don't they make up another number? They want to take the money out of the general fund, which takes it away from school kids. We want to generate some revenues so that we reduce that burden on the general fund. As I said yesterday, I mean, to take their tax proposal, $875 million out of the general fund. You take the transportation, $372 million out of the general fund. That's, I believe, it's $1,247 million, which is most of the available surplus. And it's just, you know, I don't think it's realistic, and it just crowds out everything else, including things like the 2% formula increase for the school districts and a whole lot of other things that even in their budget, they don't have 2%, they have 1.5%. Even their budgets include some of these additional spending items. So, you know, it's just, it's not what we all would each like to do in its own right. It's how to compress these numbers into the funds that are available. And, you know, they're going to be up against that as we are.
Governor, the House and Senate will pass Real ID, it appears, today and tonight. Your view on the compromise bill?
Well, I'd ask the leaders here.
I think he's going to sign it.
I heard it's clean. If it's really clean, it should be fast.
I'm told that it's the bill that the Senate passed with almost a unanimous vote a couple months ago, and if that's what it is, I don't believe the governor has any objection to that, and it'll pass with a large number in the Senate.
Governor, do you agree with yourself?
Yes. I always agree with the leaders, especially the last week of the session. We'll be back after the next round. Thank you.